If your goal is to do good work, help one person every day, and make a good income, you don't necessarily have to work as many hours as you thought you did. Or you can earn even more income than you thought. So let's look at both scenarios. All right, everybody, we're back. So excited to bring you a brand new Integrative Health Coach Success podcast. This is episode 312. So if you haven't been tuning in the past, or you may be new to the show, head on over to ihp.coach/podcast. We have so many shows on so many topics that are directly relevant for coaches and practitioners of all types. So if you provide a service in the health and fitness and wellness-based industry, what I want to show you are all the different topics on choosing a niche, setting up your website, setting up emails, knowing how much to charge for your appointments, your sessions, all of those different things. But today what I wanted to do is look at the bigger picture. So we have now about 5,000 integrative health practitioners, 5,000 coaches inside of our community, amazing people, like genuine people, real people. When we get together for our annual live event, the conversations, the energy, it just clicks. Like everybody gets everybody else. It is an unbelievable community. But with that, many people have families. Many people have maybe aging parents. Many people have other commitments besides work itself. So what I wanted to do today was go over a topic that's important to all of us. And that is, how do you figure out work and income and life or family balance? Because it matters. So like, just because you're doing the work you love doesn't mean you're earning the income that you want to earn. And there are many people that have had to leave the health industry because they didn't know how to put it together. They weren't able to earn the income that honestly they should be earning, helping a lot of people out there. And then there's a lot of people then who take jobs that they don't love, right? Or they have to work really long hours to make the income they want, and then they don't get to see their family. Or the opposite, of course, is you say, you know what, I'm just going to be all into my family. And then you have to sacrifice things you want for your family because you don't have the income maybe to travel or to do whatever it is that you'd like to give your family those expenses. So life is not easy. It's really not. It's challenging. But what I've found, and I believe that this is sound advice, but I would love to get your feedback, maybe leave them in comments. We would love to hear from you, is one thing that I've looked at. So first, that there are seasons in our life, meaning like, it's a phase of life. In 2003, I went off on my own to start my own business. And obviously I was very young then, only a couple years out of undergrad. And I, if anybody knows me, knows I'm the opposite of corporate. Like, I am there to try to do things the right way, put people above profits. But at the same time, when I went off on my own, I understood like, hey, if you don't make any income, you don't get to pay for your rent, right? Like, that's a problem, okay? Your car gets taken away, your home gets taken away, all those different things. And you don't get to do anything, you don't get to do the nice things that you like to do. Like, then it was my girlfriend, now it's my wife, take her out to dinner. Like, you don't get to do those things, right? So I always knew that income, at least to a degree, was important. And so I had to, when I left, I had basically no clients, maybe a couple, that's it. I had to then start from scratch. Okay. In 2007, I opened my first location. I bring on additional nutritionists, personal trainers, and now I had to get them busy and myself busy as well. And I had all this overhead now, right? I literally put that on a credit card to open up this, although small, but really, beautiful, nice studio. And so I had to go all in for a full year to make sure that I got that up and running. But then after that, it was great. It really was. Like, we had clients, we were good. I would hire more people. I would get them. I had the systems in place. Like, everything was rolling, which was really nice. So then it allowed me to go back, get my doctorate degree, which is something that my mentor pushed me to do. And I said, hey, if you believe in me and it's something I'm passionate about, I would love to. And so I was able to do that. And that's great. And so I had that phase of my life where I was still working a little bit, but really, studying and then doing my internships, which I had to go overseas for many of those. I didn't have to, I chose to. And then in 2012 into 2013, I opened up a large functional medicine integrative health practice in Boston. And so that was a lot of stress, probably the most stress I've ever had in my life. I would say pretty close. I had a 1-year-old. I was working 1 million hours a week. I had investing everything basically I own into that. And so that was challenging, no doubt about that. But I knew that if I really buckled down and I did it, I could make it happen again in another year. And that's what luckily I was able to do. Again, it took a lot of work, but after that, I realized that there are certain sacrifices that are worth it and some that are not. And when I had my second daughter, I said, I am unwilling, unable to work 80 hours a week, right? Like I'll work. When it's time to work, I am a worker. I've always worked. My parents worked hard. Like we work, right? But then after that, there has to be that time for family. There has to be that time, even if you love your work, to find that family balance. And so at that point, I knew that there is going to be family time scheduled, just like there's going to be work time. And that's what I want to share with you here today. So whenever I help people really assess their goals and what they're after, I let them know there's going to be a season to get after it. Like if you're trying to improve your health, I can't have you half in, half out. I need you all in for 3 to 6 months if we need to get rid of an autoimmune issue or whatever it might be, right? If you're looking to lose 50 plus pounds, I need you all in for 6 months. Like, are you good with that? Because if you are, we're going to make it happen. But then after that, like, good, you get the rest of your life. Like, that's how we look at these things. And so we want to plan 2 parts. What do we need to be all in for? But then also, let's look at this the rest of our life as well. Like, I can work like I'm working now for the rest of my life. I've set up a schedule now that enables me to do exactly what I want to do and have that balance with income and family as well. So I want to share with you a little bit about that and what I've helped other practitioners with. So the bottom line is this: you need to know what you want. And I know you're like, yeah, I've heard that before. Yes, but you need to really write down what you want. You have to. So I knew that I wanted to be able to open my own practice. Would I open a physical location again? No. But did I want to, since I was like 19 years old and learn about natural health? Yes. So I did something it was way bigger than scratching an itch. I did something to fulfill what I felt was my purpose. But then I realized it wasn't about the physical location. It was actually just about teaching. It was about sharing what I learned with other humans. And that could be done virtually. And so by 2019, I was doing that mainly virtually. And so what I realized is I know what I need to do in order to be fulfilled, and that's to be an integrative health practitioner, right? That's one. Then I know income-wise, this is what my family needs, like that I want to provide, right? As a provider for family, like I want to provide this. And this costs X dollars per month, right? So now I know that. Like this is, maybe it's more, maybe it's less than other people, but this is what I want to. Anything above that, I'm not going to say no, right? But anything above that is nice. It's nice, right? But I'm not going to do then this last thing, which is shrink my family time in order to make more necessarily above that. So I have to, it's like this intersection, this Venn diagram of doing what you love, earning an income to support your family. And then the last part is making sure that you have that balance, that you're not all work all the time, where maybe there's a small season where you need to start up, right? Okay. So I've shared this many times in terms of like how to set your practice, how to offer certain packages. All that's there at ihp.coach/podcast. Okay. But here's what I recommend is to make this simple. If you're listening to this, you're probably already doing what you love. But there's a lot of people out there who might want to transition more to doing more virtual work so they can travel a little bit. They're not spending an hour commuting to work both ways, right? Because I used to do that. People don't know this, but I commuted from Providence, Rhode Island to Boston, Massachusetts for 4 years. And then on top of that, I worked a 10 to 12 hour day. That is 12 to 14 hours every single day just at work or commuting, right? So I lived out of a bag. All my food, everything was in a duffel bag. And that's what I lived out of literally every day. So I was very young and I could do that. I was 22 to 25, 26 years old. Yeah, about that age. And so, again, it's where you are in life. Could I ever do that again? Well, not right now. I've got 2 daughters, and I'm not unwilling to do that. So for you, what I want you to do is don't think about, oh, I want to be working 40 hours a week. Do you? Like maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe realistically, you'd like to work from 9 a.m. when you do drop off the kids to 1 p.m. every single day. It gives you an hour then maybe before you need to pick the kids up. Like I'm just throwing out a scenario because we have many IHPs like that. Okay. So now you have 4 hours a day times 5 days a week, if you want to do it 5 days, and you're at what, 20 hours, right? And so maybe you want to do 4 hours a week, somewhere between, let's say, 15 and 20 hours a week. Okay. So now you say, yes, but I also want it to be worth it in terms of income. Well, don't dictate the amount of appointments you're doing that enables you to understand how much you can earn. Like don't do that. Don't make that mistake. So think of it like this. If you want to earn, and I'm just literally, I have my phone right here. Hopefully this is not creating a poor reception with the microphone, which sometimes it does. So let me turn it on airplane mode. Hopefully there's no static. My video people will certainly let me know. But let's just say that you want to earn in 15 hours a week. Well, we're just going to, yeah, let's do this. All right. So in 15 hours per week, you want to earn $36,000 a year. All right. So you have 15 hours to work. You told yourself basically 4 hours a day times, let's say 4 days a week. Okay. Or why don't we do this? 4 hours a day times 5 days of the week. And so you get 20 total hours, but you're going to take 1 hour for prep work every day. All right. That's probably more realistic. Okay. So we can do that. So we're going to say you're working 15 hours. Technically you're working 20, but 1 hour is prep and you're not going to get paid for that. So what we're going to take is your working hours that you can do appointment wise, right? 9 to 1. We're going to say from 9 to 10, it's 1 hour of prep, or from 12 to 1, it's 1 hour of prep, and you're doing three hours worth of appointments. Okay. So you need, if we take 36,000 and we divide it by 12 months, that's $3,000. Okay, so if it's $3,000 and you can work 60 hours a month, then that's $50 per hour. And so you can say to yourself, whoa, I only need to earn $50 per hour? That's it? So $50 per hour times 60, that's the number of hours you're working in a month, is 3,000. So now that's $36,000 at $50 an hour. You might say, but I'm going to charge way more than $50 an hour. Right? Like, because your services are valued at much higher than $50 an hour. Like when I was a personal trainer starting out, like it was like $79 for a personal training session. Like that was the lowest that I charged, certainly as an integrative health practitioner or whatever your profession is specifically, you're going to charge a lot more. So that's why this math is so important, right? Because now if your goal is to do good work, help one person every day, and make a good income, you don't necessarily have to work as many hours as you thought you did. Like that's one thing to think about it. Or you can earn even more income than you thought. So let's look at both scenarios and we'll wrap with that. So you want to work, you want to make $3,000 a month, because that $3,000 a month may pay for whatever it might be, like mortgage or cars plus kids' school, like whatever it is, right? So I'll let you decide that. So you say, well, I already plan to charge $180 per hour, and that's very fair. Okay, so let's just do that same math. $3,000 a month, divide by 180. And what do we get? You need to work 16.67 hours a month. So you literally need to work 1 week per month, although of course you wouldn't do it that way, in order to be able to make that type of money, charging $180 per appointment or per month. And I've talked about how to structure those packages. So it's not just that, there's follow-up included, all sorts of good things. But if we look at that, now we can say this. Okay, so if I work on average 1 appointment per day, I can earn at least $36,000 a year by working 1 appointment a day. And so now you can say, okay, well now I actually don't need to work right from 9 a.m. from when I get back from dropping the kids off to 1. I can actually work from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock and then use 1 hour for my follow-ups and for social media and those types of things. So what I'm saying to you is never say, I'm going to work from 9 to 1 every day. You can do that if you want. You absolutely can. And there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying to you is you may not have to. It may not fit with your lifestyle. It may not be who you want to be at this moment. So don't commit to a random amount of time Don't commit to anything until you plan what you're looking for. And once you plan what you're looking for, it may look different. So just going to give you one more example. When I decided to leave this big gym that I was working for, 24 years old or so, turning maybe 25, I left one day a week on a Wednesday. And what I did was I worked with all my private clients on a Wednesday. And so I started work with a fair amount of people at home, personal training on that Wednesday. And then I was still working 4 days at the gym. Those are longer days. And then eventually I just left and I would work just with my at-home training clients. But what it enabled me to do is create a schedule that worked for me, worked for my clients, that I could make happen, which eventually then enabled me to move from Providence, Rhode Island to Boston, Massachusetts, right? Though I always lived around Boston, but now I could actually afford to live in the city. So what I would say to you is you need to create 3 separate goals. 1, doing what you love. So get the certification, get the education, get the training you need. Number 2, I would say it's family. So you need to figure out, now again, certification doesn't come above family, but you need to know what hours can you realistically work. Like that's a real number. Like I could work more hours right now, but I can't because I've scheduled, like this is my family's time. So I can't work more hours. It's my family's time, scheduled, right? So now within that allotted time frame, know the number of hours that you are able to work. And then if you need to, you could earn a little bit more, charge a little bit more, or you can actually work less hours. You could do other creative projects. You don't need to fill your time just to fill your time. That's what I wanted to share with you here today. So these are all things that I wish I knew when I was younger. If you're first starting out or you're just looking to revamp your business, I hope this show is helpful. Of course, we're always looking at whatever topics you want to hear about on the show. We have business, we've got family life balance, we have all sorts of things. So feel free to let us know in the comments. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day.